Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Bree and today I want to show you guys everything that I read in July and we're going to pick out my August TBR. So first, I know the first book I read in July was actually an ebook. It was Jellyfish Bloom by JJ Walker and it was an ebook novella. I ended up getting approved on NetGalley for an advanced copy of this one after somebody recommended it to me on Instagram. And it is about this married couple that lives in a house by the ocean, and one night the husband comes home and he's acting really weird and the wife thinks that he's lying to her and that he's been somewhere and he doesn't want her to know where. And the next day they find out that one of their friends, one of his ex-girlfriends, is missing. And after that, things start to get super weird, like the ocean itself is haunting them. And it was really, really good. Like, I really loved the way it was written. It was very beautifully written. And you guys know I love me some ocean horror, so that was the first book I read in July. I want to say that one actually came out at the end of July, so if you guys haven't checked that one out yet, definitely go check it out. The next book I read in July was Summer's Never Over by Darby Bozeman, which is about a group of young adults that were camp counselors one year, and there was this horrible fire and one of them ended up getting killed. And 5 years later, they're all back at the camp, learning that what they thought happened to their friend might not actually be the truth of what happened. This one was really, really good. I have gotten some doozy thrillers in the past, I don't know, year or so. It feels like it's been a year or a couple of years that like the thrillers I've been reading have been way too off the rails, like not even remotely plausible. And that really pulls you out of the story. But this one I really liked. It pulled me in. There's a dual timeline. So we're following the main character in the present day when she is back at the camp learning what happened to her friend, and also 5 years ago when she is at the camp that first summer, before everything happens and leading up to it. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Great summer vibes, summer campy lake vibes. I read several ebooks in July, so I have to make sure I'm staying on track. Tale of the Body Thief was the next book that I finished, and this one, I have the hard copy now, but I actually listened to an audiobook. And I was listening to this one through June as well. It took me a while to finish this one. I think because over the summer I wasn't traveling as much as I usually do, so I wasn't listening to audiobooks as much as I usually do. But this is the 4th installment of the Vampire Chronicles series, which you guys know I am just completely obsessed with. So this one was great. This one is Lestat dealing with a body thief. Need I say more? It was super good. It was so good. I love all of these. Next after that was The Fiction Writer by Jillian Cantor, which is a story of a woman who wrote a retelling of Rebecca, writing about a woman who wrote a retelling of Rebecca. Something to that effect. This is also, I think, a thriller. It's a lot more literary than thrillery, in my opinion. I really liked it, but it was fine. I liked it. I didn't love it. Let's leave it at that. It lacked the thriller element for me a little bit. It was like everything kind of built up, and then there wasn't much of a climax, I suppose. But yeah, it was decent. If you like Rebecca, Daphne du Maurier, I definitely recommend checking this one out just because it's full of that. After that, I read Hansel and Gretel by Stephen King, illustrated by Maurice Sendak. And this is obviously a Grimm Brothers story, but retold by Stephen King. I don't really want to say Stephen King made it darker because the Grimm Brothers story was already super dark. So yeah, this one had some haunting illustrations though. Like, let me show you guys a couple. I just cannot tell you how much I recommend checking this out if you like children's books with really good illustrations. Yeah, very, very good. Very, very haunting illustrations in this one. Okay, did we have an ebook in between? A Short Stay in Hell, which is another ebook novella. I think that one was around 100 pages. I think the one that I mentioned, Jellyfish Bloom, was also around 100 pages. A Short Stay in Hell was really, really good. For those of you who haven't read it, it is about a man, I think his name was Soren. He was a Mormon in his life, and then he died fairly young, I think in his 40s, and finds himself in hell with a demon who places him in his own personalized hell, because Mormonism was not the true religion in this book. It is Zoroastrianism, which is a real existing religion. I really hope I said that right. And so he finds himself in his own personal hell with a bunch of other people, and this hell that he was chosen for, or that was chosen for him, I suppose, is like a library of Babel, which means it is vast to the point of almost being unending. And his task to get out of hell is to find the book that contains the story of his life. But in this library exists every book that was ever written and could ever possibly be written. So it was mind-bending a little bit, and really bleak and really hopeless at times, and very, very interesting. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I really did like it. The only thing that I didn't love, I spoke about this in one of my vlogs where I was talking about finishing this book. I didn't love the way it was written. I really enjoy like the French translated existentialism books, like The Stranger and Nausea, and just they're written so beautifully, like the main character is a writer maybe, but this one was much more casual. The language was much more casual, and while that was fine, I feel like I would have felt more if it wasn't. Like, it's almost like the main character didn't delve into his own feelings very much. He almost seemed a little bit avoidant and kept himself at a distance from his own feelings, which keeps the reader at a distance from the feelings as well. So I definitely do recommend reading that one though, because by the end of it, I was just, I had to sit there and stare off into space for a while because of the content and just the way it ended and what it was about, and yeah. So that one is pretty hard-hitting. Next, I listened to Memnoch the Devil by Anne Rice, which is book 5 in the Vampire Chronicles. I listened to this one really fast, actually, because I had a lot of road trips in a very short amount of time, so I got done with this one fairly quickly. We follow Lestat again in this one, and he is being stalked by a demon who he comes to find out is the devil, and the devil wants his help. He wants Lestat to join the war and basically work with him against God, and so he takes him to hell, to heaven, to show him everything that's going on and try to convince him what side he should be on. This one was fascinating. I mean, they're all fascinating. I just love this world. I love Lestat. Like, I'm loving it. But yeah, that was Memnoch the Devil. The final book that I finished in July this year was Fabulous Bodies by Chuck Tingle. This was a wild ride, you guys, like such a wild ride. This one follows a young woman named Poppy, who is an aspiring fashion influencer by day, and by night she is something of a grave robber who kind of finagles bodies from morgues and then sells them to the highest bidder. And so her hero, this older queer musical icon, he ends up getting killed pretty early on in this book in a very gruesome way, and then Poppy gets a call that same day. She gets offered an obscene amount of money to bring a woman the body of this man, of this pop icon who has just died. And things go incredibly off the rails. Incredibly off the rails. Like, you think that they have gone as off the rails as they're going to, and then it keeps going. I loved this one. I literally couldn't put this down. It is so gruesome. It is unlike anything I've ever read before. It was so creative and unique. This one just came out, I believe, in July, because it was the Aardvark. It was one of the Aardvark picks for July. So if you guys haven't checked this one out yet, do that. And I think that was it for my July reads. Yes, okay, now we can move to the bookshelf a little bit and see what I want to read in August. I actually already have one book going for August that I started since the start of the month. Everything Was Beautiful and Nothing Hurt. This was one of my book of the month picks, I believe also from July, so this one is also new. I, for some reason, thought that this was going to be like a whimsical little time. I won't update too much on that one because I'm not actually done with it yet, but oh god, it has been very heavy thus far. I'm about 2/3 of the way through maybe, and oh my god. I'll talk about that more in my next vlog because I'm not done with it yet, so I don't want to talk too much about it just yet, but that is my current read right now, and it has put me into a weird funk today, so hopefully filming will help me get out of that a little bit. All right, and now we can choose from my bookshelf what I want to read in August besides the one that I'm currently reading. Oh! I got the Iliad and the Odyssey. I got both of them in Emily Wilson's translation. and I haven't actually read the entire stories before. So I got both of these. I bought the audiobooks. So I think this is going to be one that I dive into fairly soon because I am fascinated with Greek mythology, and yeah, I'm super excited for this one. So that can be book 1. Another contender is Headlights by CJ Leede, which was a June Aardvark pick, I believe. I keep saying I'm going to read this one next, and then I keep not reading it next, but it is on my TBR for very soon for sure. So I really want to try to get to that one this month because I've been saying I was going to read it for like the past month and a half and I just haven't done it yet. Besides that, do we even have anything on my horror shelf that I haven't read yet? World War Z I haven't read yet. I don't know if I want to get to that this month though. Oh, one that I was actually thinking about. I've had Severance by Ling Ma for a year or two and I've heard great things about it and I haven't read it yet. This one can be a maybe. This one can be a maybe. I've also really been wanting to read The Stand, and that's probably another one that I would either tab out with my tabbing method. I made a video about this. When I read really big books, I like to tab them out. Say I'm going to read it in a month. And so I'll tab it out with the same amount of pages each day for that full month so that it can be taken in smaller, easily digestible bites and doesn't feel so overwhelming, because if I don't do something like that, my ADHD brain will look at the giant book and be like, yeah, we can't do that. We're not doing that. When I do it this way, I actually get through really big books without too much pain. I can show you guys one that I've done that with as an example. Okay, I read House of Leaves like 2 or 3 years ago, and I've got my tabs. I think I read this one over just 1 month. I read it in October of a few years ago. And I did like 20 pages every day to get done with it by the end of the month. Because this one, you guys, I was very intimidated by. So my tabbing method helped a lot. I can link that video in the description for you guys too, just if you're curious. Anyway, I was talking about The Stand. I would either do my tabbing method or listen to the audiobook and also read the hard copy of that. But I don't know if I want to bite off something that big in the same month that I'm going to try and read the Iliad. That might be a lot. Oh, another one. Okay, I have Whalefall on my Kindle that I really want to read that either in August or September, sometime before the movie comes out, because I really want to see the movie. And this just reminded me of that. I got The Deep by Nick Cutter last month. This is also definitely a contender. I've been super into water horror this spring and summer. I read Into the Drowning Deep and Scorpion Deep, and I think there was even more than that. I also have From Below by Darcy Coates, but that is a bit of a bigger one, so I might save that. Another one that is a possibility for either August or September is the third Clown in a Cornfield book, because I have that on my Kindle. I read the first 2 last year. They're really great for August, September, October, like hot weather going into fall. They're kind of perfect vibes for that. So what is that so far? 4? Maybe I should stop. Maybe I should stop. Okay, I think I actually am going to stop at that for right now, just because I don't want to overload my TBR and then be overwhelmed by it or beat myself up if I don't read all of them. So what we have landed on are these. So we have the Iliad, Headlights, Severance, and The Deep, and then Whalefall and possibly Clown in a Cornfield 3 on my Kindle. And yeah, probably something else on audiobook too, but ooh, maybe the next Vampire Chronicles book on audiobook once I finish the Iliad, which is The Vampire Armand, which I'm actually really looking forward to that one. But yeah, that is everything I read in July and my loose TBR for August. I'm very, very much a mood reader, so I like to set a loose TBR, which is more like guidelines than actual rules. So yeah, we'll see how many of those I actually get to, and if there are any books not on the TBR that I end up picking up. But yeah, that is all I've got for you guys for now. So thank you so much for joining me for my July wrap-up and August TBR. And I will be back very soon, hopefully with updates from some of these books.